The majority of Americans are uninformed about the real estate market, but that doesn't have to be you, which is why we launched this real estate YouTube channel to keep you informed on the local Huntsville, Alabama real estate market. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you stay on top of all the latest news. 83% of Americans say buying a home is a top priority for them. And that's showcased in this stat where it says 28 million Americans plan to buy a home in 2023. And the reason that stat jumps off the page is that in an average year, 6 million homes are sold across the US. So 28 million buyers across the US plan to buy a home. Only 6 million homes are typically sold in a given year. And many believe that this is going to be a below average year of about 4 million homes sold. So a big disconnect. About 1 in 7 actual buyers that plan to buy a home will likely buy a home in 2023, which shows that there's a lot of pent-up demand out there. So as interest rates start to drop, there's a lot of buyers sitting on the sidelines that would like to enter this real estate market. Another stat that jumped out to me in this NerdWallet study is that the average budget for these 28 million Americans that are planning to buy a home in 2023 is only $269,200, which home values have not been that low on average since 2013. On average, our median sales price nationally is actually up to $388,100. So affordability is a big crisis in our country right now, which is likely going to continue to push down the home ownership rates in the US. So another stat that jumped out on this NerdWallet study is that 2/3 of Americans that were surveyed expect a real estate crash in 2023. And the reason that this stat jumps out is that this is not 2008, and that's not what the experts are predicting. The National Association, or NAR, is predicting that the average sales price at the end of 2023 will be $385,800, which is relatively flat. And then the company Redfin is predicting a 4% drop. So what that likely means is, in states like California and cities like Seattle, probably a 10% drop. But as you get into the South, that's going to be likely a relatively flat market in those areas. So the other thing about having a real estate crash is you got to have a supply and demand imbalance. And the fact is the supply is in balance with the demand right now. We're actually slightly in a seller's market, less than 4 months worth of supply. Demand has decreased about 30%. However, supply has decreased in relation to that at 27% as well. Another interesting stat from this survey is that 61% of Americans surveyed say mortgage rates currently are unprecedented. And at the time of this article, the average 30-year rate was 6.15%. And over the last 50 years, the actual average interest rate in this country has been 7.75%. Pre-2008, it was very normal to have interest rates in that 6 to 7% range, which is what we've been seeing for the last 6 to 12 months. 70% of Americans who plan on buying a home in 2022 were unfortunately unsuccessful. So don't be one of the millions of Americans that are unsuccessful at buying a home in 2023. Send us an email at moving@mattcurtisrealestate.com and we'll make sure you achieve your real estate goals in 2023.